What if I told you that this episode changes everything? That The Rookie Season 8 Episode 16 is not just another case, but a turning point where one wrong move could lead to betrayal, danger, and consequences no one is ready for, because John Nolan is about to step into a situation that feels off from the very beginning, and by the time he realizes how deep it goes, it may already be too late to turn back. The episode begins with what appears to be a routine patrol, but Nolan quickly senses that something isn't right, as small details start to stand out and the situation slowly begins to unravel into something far more serious, with inconsistencies in witness statements, and a growing tension that suggests this is no ordinary call, and as Nolan follows his instincts, he finds himself getting closer to a truth that someone is clearly trying to hide. As the investigation unfolds, the case becomes more dangerous, with every clue leading to more questions, and every answer revealing just how complex the situation really is, creating the feeling that Nolan may already be walking into a carefully planned trap, one where the stakes are much higher than anyone initially believed, and where backup might not arrive in time if things go wrong. At the same time, Lucy Chen is facing intense pressure that goes beyond just the job, as her emotional and professional worlds begin to collide, forcing her to confront difficult choices about her future, especially as her relationship with Tim Bradford is tested in ways that could change everything between them, with trust, timing, and duty all pulling them in different directions. Meanwhile, Tim is deeply involved in a high-risk tactical operation that demands absolute focus, but as the pressure builds and the situation becomes more unpredictable, even he may find it difficult to keep emotions out of the equation, raising the possibility that one small mistake could have devastating consequences, not just for the mission but for the people around him, making his role in this episode one of the most intense to watch. On another front, Angela Lopez is working on an investigation that at first seems separate, but soon begins to connect with Nolan's case, revealing the possibility of a larger conspiracy that ties multiple events together, and as Lopez pieces together the clues, it becomes clear that they may be dealing with something far more dangerous than a single incident, something organized, calculated, and deeply hidden. As the episode progresses, all of these storylines begin to collide, with Nolan getting closer to uncovering the truth while the danger around him continues to grow. Lucy being pushed toward a decision that could define her future, Tim facing increasing pressure in the field, and Lopez uncovering connections that suggest they are all part of the same unfolding crisis, building toward a moment where everything comes together in a high-stakes confrontation. In that critical moment, Nolan is forced to make a split-second decision that could determine the outcome of the entire situation, choosing between following protocol or trusting his instincts, knowing that either choice carries serious risks. And just when it seems like the truth is about to be revealed, the episode delivers a shocking twist that hints at betrayal from someone on the inside, leaving everyone questioning who they can really trust. As the story reaches its final moments, the consequences of these events begin to take shape, with relationships strained, secrets starting to surface, and the realization that not everyone may come out of this unscathed, setting the stage for the final episodes of the season, and leaving viewers on a gripping cliffhanger that raises even more questions about what's coming next. So now the question is, who can actually be trusted? Is Nolan already in danger without fully realizing it? Will Lucy and Tim be able to survive the pressure building around them? And is that betrayal truly coming from within the team? Because if it is, nothing will ever be the same again, and as we move closer to the finale, the stakes are only going to get higher from here. So make sure you stay tuned for everything coming next in The Rookie. And just when it feels like things couldn't get any more dangerous, the episode takes things to another level as John Nolan begins to realize that this case may have been set in motion long before he ever arrived on the scene, suggesting that someone has been planning this from the shadows, carefully manipulating events and people to create the perfect setup. And the more Nolan digs, the more he starts to understand that he may not just be solving a case, he may actually be part of it. This realization shifts everything, turning Nolan from investigator to potential target, as the lines between right and wrong, safe and dangerous, begin to blur, and the question becomes not just whether he can solve the case, but whether he can survive it, especially as the people involved start to act more desperate, more unpredictable, and more willing to do whatever it takes to keep the truth from coming out. At the same time, Lucy Chen finds herself pulled deeper into a situation that forces her to rely on her instincts more than ever before, and as the pressure mounts, she begins to show a new level of strength and determination, proving that she is more than capable of handling whatever comes her way, even if it means stepping into dangerous territory, where the margin for error is almost non-existent. Her connection with Tim Bradford becomes even more complicated in this episode, as both of them are dealing with their own challenges. Yet their paths continue to cross in ways that test their trust and communication, creating moments of tension that feel just as intense as the action unfolding around them, and raising the possibility that their relationship could either grow stronger under pressure or begin to crack when it matters most. Meanwhile, Tim's tactical operation starts to spiral as unexpected complications arise, forcing him to make rapid decisions in a high-stakes environment, where hesitation could be deadly, and as the situation escalates, it becomes clear that he may be facing an opponent who is just as strategic and calculated as he is, setting up a confrontation that feels like a battle of minds, as much as a physical conflict. On the investigative side, Angela Lopez continues to connect the dots, and with each new piece of information, the scope of the situation becomes more alarming, pointing toward a network that is larger and more dangerous than anyone initially realized, and as she gets closer to exposing it, the risk to her and her team increases, making every step forward feel like a step into deeper danger. As all these elements build, the episode creates a sense of urgency that never lets up, with each scene adding more tension and raising the stakes even higher, until everything begins to converge in a sequence of events that feels both inevitable and completely unpredictable at the same time, as if everything has been leading to this moment, yet no one is truly prepared for what's about to happen. When the confrontation finally comes, it's not just about action, it's about choices, consequences, and the realization that not every situation has a clear right answer, as Nolan, Lucy, Tim, and Lopez are all forced to act under pressure, making decisions that could have lasting effects on their lives and their futures within the department. And then comes the moment that changes everything, a twist that doesn't just shock, but completely reframes what we thought we knew, suggesting that the real danger may not have been outside the team at all, but much closer than anyone expected, leaving behind a trail of doubt, suspicion, and unanswered questions that will carry forward into the next episode. As the dust settles, there's a lingering sense that this was only the beginning, that the events of episode 16 have opened the door to something even bigger, something that will push these characters further than ever before as the season moves toward its conclusion, with higher stakes, deeper conflicts, and the constant possibility that the next move could be their last. And that's what makes this episode so important, because it doesn't just tell a story, it changes the direction of the entire season, setting up a chain of events that will impact every character moving forward, and leaving us with one final question that will keep fans talking until the next episode drops. Who is really pulling the strings?